What's going on, my friends? Welcome back to my humble little corner of the internet, REF Scents, here on YouTube. I hope you guys are doing well today. So I took a little time today to think back over a lot of the content that I've already put on this channel, and there's been a lot. We've talked about fragrances that make you smell masculine, unique, romantic, gentlemanly, suave, everything you can think of. But I was kind of surprised at myself that we haven't really talked about fragrances that are just fun. You know what I'm saying? Like last night, my wife and I went to a hockey game. We watched the Tampa Bay Lightning utterly destroy the Los Angeles Kings. It was glorious. But while I was walking through there, I wasn't trying to be the suave guy of the crowd. You know, we were there to just enjoy ourselves and have fun. It was rowdy. It was loud. It was crazy. And I was like, you know what? I can match a fragrance to this atmosphere, and that's exactly what we're going to talk about today. We're going to go over 7 fragrances that are nothing but fun. You don't have to have an agenda with them. Just cut loose and enjoy yourself. So get ready, because this is going to be good. Starting off with fragrance number 1, we have a scent that dates all the way back to 1995. I say all the way back. I was 11 in 1995, and those were some great years. But this is a great fragrance that came from those years, and it's still very, very popular today with a number of different flankers made from it. It is from Jean Paul Gaultier. It is the original Le Mel. That's right, man. What an amazing, fun fragrance this is right here. It does have some striking similarities to Versace Eros, but it does lack that apple top note. Whereas in this one, you've got the mint that's there. It's more going to be lavender and cardamom whenever you first spray it on. As it dies off, though, you're going to get hit with a little bit of cinnamon, but there's some vanilla, some tonka bean, amber, and sandalwood in the base that just kind of holds everything together. This was very, very popular as a clubbing scene or a clubbing fragrance in the mid-late 90s. But even today, though, it's just a fun, youthful, and vibrant type of scent. It's not abrasive. It's not very strong at all as far as how much it projects and punches people in the face when you first spray it on. Oh, man. It's even been a minute since I've sprayed this. I'm not going to lie. I've got so many that I try to spray all the time, but even as I'm spraying it, I'm still just kind of rediscovering how great it is, you know. But this is a really, really great fragrance to get into, and it's not the most expensive, but it's still not the cheapest either. Jean Paul Gaultier recognizes the popularity of this, and they're going to capitalize on it, I'm telling you. But you're going to find this for, you know, around $50, $75, depending on where you shop. I'm going to obviously leave a link in the description below so you can shop for it as well. I think this is good year-round, okay? It's not drawn to one particular season or another, but definitely use it more for the nighttime. But there you go, Jean Paul Gaultier Le Mel. That's your fun fragrance number 1. Moving right along with fragrance number 2, we have a scent from the house of Paco Rabanne, who is probably one of my least favorite designer houses out there. But this particular fragrance is actually really, really good in my opinion. It's not from the 1 Million line, and it is not from the Invictus line. This one is Paco Rabanne's Pure XS, a 2017 release. It's a spicy, aromatic fragrance. It's got some really bright top notes with some ginger, some grapefruit, and bergamot. And then as you dry down in the middle notes, you've got some vanilla liquor, a little bit of leather and cinnamon. And then finally, rounding it all up is some myrrh, cedar, and a little bit of sugar, as a matter of fact, according to Fragrantica. And all together, man, it reminds a lot of people, and it does me, like you're spraying something on that smells like a soft drink, like Coke or Dr. Pepper. So it's really vibrant and youthful in its composition. But I tell you, I really do hate the cap on this. I was trying not to talk about the cap, but as I'm thinking about trying to spray it on my skin, it smells good, but this cap just needs to get out of my way, man. But this one is really bright, and it's really comforting to me. A lot of times whenever I'm around my house at night, I will wear this on myself just to smell good. But when you go out, it does present yourself in a very fun and jovial way. I really enjoy this. The performance is not the best. It's at about 5 hours, 5.5 hours. It does project quite well when it's on your skin though. So, and also luckily the price point does reflect its performance. You're gonna find it for about $40 or $50, which is reasonable for what we're talking about here. But I think this is a great buy. I blind bought this one and I was not disappointed. So if you like other fragrances like Lamel, if you like Eros, things of that nature, you're gonna like the Pure XS. Now, coming in at our number 3 spot, we have a fragrance that was just released in 2022 and is probably one of the best releases of this particular line. It is from the House of Azzaro. This is Azzaro, the Most Wanted Parfum. And I love the Wanted line, okay? The original Wanted had, some of those bubblegum notes, kind of like Paco Rabanne Invictus, but Wanted by Night, I thought still think is a work of art. I think that's probably my favorite release of this line. And then they came out with the Most Wanted. We're not going to talk about the tonic. That's garbage. Don't waste your money. Then they came out with the Most Wanted, a great release for nights out. Kind of had that clubbing vibe, but a little more sophisticated than something like Versace Eros. But this one right here, a great version of the Most Wanted. It's got a top note of ginger, which I love in fragrances because it's a little bit spicy, but a little bit aromatic, and it just adds this really nice complexity and balance to a fragrance. It's got top note of ginger, and then it's got some woody notes and vanilla right along the bottom. It's very linear. It doesn't change very much on your skin. But with this being a recent release, guys, be ready because you're probably going to be paying close to full retail price for it. But I paid full retail price for it. I don't regret it one bit because it does last a long time. I get about 7 hours on my skin. It is more for the fall and winter time in the evenings, but the vibe that this projects is going to be a fun vibe, but also with some of those woody notes in there, it kind of has a little bit of a romantic gentleman vibe, you know? Like I said, this list is all about having fun, and you definitely get this from it. But it's kind of got that a little bit of undertone to it that just will make people think twice about you. So I think that's a good thing myself. So Azzaro, the Most Wanted Parfum, great recommendation. Fragrance number 4, let's go with the niche scent because why not? It's from the House of Parfums de Marly. You guys know I love this fragrance, and I'm going to keep recommending it to you because that's just what I do. I recommend you the best things ever. This is Parfums de Marly Layton. And I love that this stands out. This stands out as a unique fragrance amongst their line because this is probably the most fun fragrance they have. A lot of their other fragrances, while they are all very good, they kind of serve more of a particular purpose. The Carlisle being a little bit of the edgy fragrance, the Wojan being the romantic gourmand, you've got the Haltane, which is the romantic gentleman, the Sedley being the summertime fragrance. Layton, I'm telling you, Layton is just by far a great, fun night out fragrance. It's got that lavender, apple, the vanilla is in there, some woody notes. It's, man, it is just so freaking delicious. And I always tell people this, and I will continue to tell them this, that this is a great purchase if you're looking for your first real kind of expensive niche scent. This is definitely the one to go with. Obviously, you can go with something like Mancera or Montal that's going to be a little bit less expensive, and you can call it a niche. I'm not going to fault you for that whatsoever. But there's a little bit more seriousness when you purchase something for about $215, which is about what this 75 milliliter bottle is going to be worth. But it's aromatic, it's sweet, it's fun, it's just a really good time on your skin. And you don't need to, in my opinion, you don't need to get any larger than this bottle right there. You're gonna be, number one, spending a lot more money, but two or three sprays will last you for 10 hours. So a little bit goes a long, long way. Okay, so this is gonna be Parfums de Marly Layton. Wear it during the fall, wintertime, springtime, and if you can get away with an evening that's not too humid, you can do it in the summertime as well. I live in Florida. It's eternal summer here, you know what I'm saying? And I still wear this because who cares? I like to smell good. Parfums de Marly Layton. Here we are at fragrance number 5, guys, and it makes me sad, but we're gonna have to take a moment of silence because this is a discontinued fragrance. It's been discontinued for a while, actually, but it's such a gem, so let's have a moment of silence together. All right, from the house of Carolina Herrera, we have CH Men Privé. Now, if you've ever smelled this before, you may be wondering what this particular fragrance is doing on a list about fun fragrances, because this is more of a bad boy, edgy scent. First off, half of the fun is in the presentation. Look at this bottle. It's a flask, man. It's a flask, but don't try to drink it. You'll get the poops. But also, some of the notes in here have some fun elements to it. It's very boozy, this fragrance is. It's got some whiskey and grapefruit on the top with some cardamom, leather, tonka bean, and benzoin as it starts drying down as well. But that's where kind of some of the fun is in the dry down with that, with those sweet notes of the benzoin and the tonka bean. And there's a little bit of lavender in there as well, but it's really, really good. The problem with this fragrance is that it doesn't last very long, at about 5.5 hours, but it's a little bit aromatic and effervescent in the way that it presents off of your skin. That's what I really like about it, and that's what kind of makes it fun to me. Now, as I said, this fragrance is discontinued, but let me tell you, if you look closely, you look hard enough, you can still find discontinued fragrances. I was at International Plaza in Tampa, Florida a couple weeks ago, and I stopped in one of those fragrance shops that's just kind of off to the side, independently owned by a few guys. You know, you've got some of those overpriced Bond number 9s in there, overpriced and random Parfums de Marly's maybe, and just this levy of, you know, a lot of Armaf and a lot of Lattafa and stuff. But they had a number of discontinued fragrances in there. They had John Varvatos' Dark Rebel, but they also had this one. I saw it for sale with my own eyes. So guys, don't get too discouraged if you know that one of your favorite fragrances has been discontinued, because if you look hard, you can find it. Anyways, CH Men Privé, that's number 5. Here we are at fragrance number 6, and we're going to go with a fragrance from the house of Giorgio Armani, particularly from the Armani Code line. And that entire line, by the way, is really, really good. I love pretty much all of those fragrances. And I wish this one got talked a little bit more about, but it seems to take a back seat to the Armani Code Absolute. But it's still really, really good. I really like it. It's Armani Code Profumo. This is a very loud fragrance, guys. This is probably, I would dare say, one of the most powerful ones, projection-wise, in the Armani Code line. But it's insanely sweet, too. It is a slightly spicy, slightly aromatic, amber-based fragrance with some top notes of cardamom, green apple, and mandarin orange. And then as it dries down, you've got some nutmeg, lavender, tonka bean, leather, and amber, okay? What that basically means is when you put it all together, to me, it smells a bit like vanilla Coke. I love soda anyways, but having that kind of vibe that soda gives off is bubbly, it's happy, it's, you know, it's outgoing. That's exactly what this fragrance is. You know, it's considered more of a fall and wintertime fragrance. I wear this one year round. I still spray it on from time to time when I'm going out, like with my family, to, you know, have a fun day out or a fun night out. This is just a lot of fun to wear. More popular with teenagers and some young adults, but I think this still fits in the category of a Versace Eros or a Jean Paul Gaultier Lamel. I think it probably smells closer to the Paco Rabanne Pure XS than those other two fragrances, but this one right here should not be slept on. If you want to present yourself as a fun person, this is absolutely the one to go to. I highly recommend it. Last up on this list, we have a fragrance that I feel is kind of slept on or underappreciated. It depends on what circles of the fragrance community you roll in. There are some influencers that talk about this and really hype it up. There are some that just kind of ignore it altogether, but I'm one of the ones that likes to promote it. It is from Carolina Herrera. This is 212 VIP Men. This is a very, very aromatic fragrance. And that kind of stands in contrast to some of the other fragrances on this list that are more known for being sweet. And it does have a little bit of sweetness, but in a much different way. Some of the top notes of this fragrance are lime, passion fruit, some ginger and pepper. And then according to Fragrantica, it's actually got vodka and gin as some of the middle notes. I don't know. Maybe it has some of those vibes, but I don't know if those are actual notes in there or not. But there is definitely a hit of mint in this fragrance. I think that is probably the most prominent note in this fragrance. And then on the bottom is supposed to be amber and leather and some woody notes. But in terms of what I get from this, I definitely get a hard hit of citrus, a good bit of ginger and spice, and the mint. It's almost like it's almost aromatic like a spearmint or a peppermint would be. That's the type of scent profile we're talking about here. But don't get me wrong, that's not a bad thing. That is not an unpleasant facet whatsoever. As a matter of fact, like I said, you are going to stand out with this fragrance. It's not going to be like those other fragrances that you smell on other people when you're wearing them in fun atmospheres. Okay, this one's going to be a head turner for sure, but still very fun. 6 hours of longevity, between $50 and $75. I think this works great year round. You can wear it sometimes during the day, but definitely better for night. But 212 VIP Men, it can be worn by anybody, any age. It's really good. I do think that this should be worth your consideration. You can usually find it in a perfume shop like in a mall or something, and a lot of times they will have this to sample, so be on the lookout for it. Fun fragrances, right? We shouldn't take life too seriously all the time. Yeah, get out and have some fun, man, and smell fun at the same time. You know, fragrances at the end of the day, like, they should be an extension of your personality. They should be an extension of your mood. So if you're wanting to be outgoing, if you're wanting to be vibrant, the life of the party, well then smell the part. All of these fragrances will help you achieve that. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Be sure to check out all of the links in the description below. And I think that's pretty much it. We'll see you next time.